They said Route 23 was just another highway, until the lovers who drove it never came back. The next morning, their car was found empty, engines still running, headlights pointed straight into the river. And every night since, someone swears they see them still driving, smiling. We weren't supposed to take that road. Alex said the GPS was just recalibrating, but I swear the moment he missed that turn, something shifted in the air. The sun dipped faster than it should have. The road went quieter than it should have. I told him we should stop for gas. He just smiled, squeezed my hand, and said, "Relax, Mia. It's a road trip, not a race." I smiled back, pretending not to notice the sign we just passed was completely blank. No town name, no number, just a whiteboard peeling in the wind. It was supposed to be a simple weekend drive. A digital detox, Alex called it, 2 days away from notifications, noise, and our city apartment. But by the second hour, I started noticing we hadn't passed a single car. No gas stations, no motels, no signs of life. Only the forest. And every few miles, a rusted old billboard with something scratched off its surface. I rolled down my window just a crack. The air smelled metallic. Like rain. Or blood. "Hey," I said softly. "Can you check the map again?" Alex reached for his phone, but it was dead. He frowned, plugged it into the charger. "Nothing. Must have drained fast," he muttered. Then I checked mine. Same thing. Dead black screen. Like the battery wasn't even there. We both laughed it off. Nervous, shallow laughter. But inside, I felt that first cold sting of fear, the kind that whispers before you admit you're lost. The fog rolled in around 9 p.m. It wasn't gradual. It hit like smoke, swallowing the forest whole. I leaned forward, watching the lines on the road disappear under the haze. "Alex, maybe pull over?" He nodded, and then something ran across the road. Fast. Too fast. A blur of pale color and a sound like bone cracking under pressure. He slammed the brakes hard. The world tilted. My seatbelt dug into my shoulder. And then silence. Total silence. "Is it a deer?" I whispered. Alex nodded slowly, stepping out of the car. The fog swallowed him instantly. I could barely see his outline. Then I heard him say, "It's not a deer." My heart stopped. I opened the door, my hand trembling. There was something lying in front of the car. Human-shaped, but wrong. Limbs bent like broken branches. And where the face should have been, just smooth skin. I screamed. Alex grabbed my hand, dragging me back to the car. He slammed the door shut, turned the ignition. But the engine just coughed. The headlights flickered once. And when they came back on, the body was gone. Narration. We didn't speak for miles. The fog thinned, but the silence grew heavier. When we finally saw a flicker of light ahead, a small diner sign, I almost cried. We pulled over, desperate for people, for noise, for anything normal. But the diner looked wrong. It was too still, and the neon sign that should have read, "Open," said, "Help." That was the last clear moment I remember. Because when we stepped inside that diner, the air smelled like rot. And from the corner booth, someone whispered my name, "Mia." The moment we stepped into that diner, the world felt off. The air inside was thick, like walking through old breath. A jukebox hummed softly in the corner, but no music played. Every booth was empty, except one. There was a coffee cup sitting there, steam still rising from it. Someone had been here minutes ago, maybe seconds. Alex called out, "Hello? Anyone here?" No answer, just the sound of a ceiling fan spinning slowly, its blades squeaking like a heartbeat. I looked at the counter. There were plates half filled with food. Eggs cold, coffee stains dried halfway down the mugs. Like everyone had stood up at once and left mid-bite. Then I noticed the photos on the wall. Couples, smiling, happy, holding hands in front of cars just like ours. But every photo had the same background, the same diner. And every woman in those pictures looked a little like me. "Mia," Alex whispered, "this is freaky. Let's go." But before we could move, a voice came from behind the counter. "You shouldn't have stopped." We both froze. A man stepped out of the shadows, wearing an old cook's uniform, his name tag rusted and unreadable. His smile was too wide, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. I'm sorry," Alex stammered. "We hit something on the road. Thought we'd get help here." The man's smile didn't change. He just said, It always starts that way. Alex and I exchanged a look. Something in that man's tone chilled me to my bones. I said, "Do you have a phone we can use?" He pointed toward the back. "Pay phones near the restrooms. But it only takes change." Alex reached into his pocket, muttering that he'd check it out. As he walked away, the cook leaned closer to me. "He shouldn't go alone," he said softly. "The last ones didn't come back." I wanted to call out to him, but my voice felt trapped in my throat. The cook turned his back to me, wiping the already clean counter in slow circles. Then the jukebox came to life. Not music static, like 1,000 whispers. Pressed together. My stomach dropped. From down the hallway, Alex shouted, "Mia, there's no phone here," and then the lights went out. I reached for my phone, but it was still dead. The only sound was the faint click of the jukebox, turning itself off. "Alex," I whispered. Silence. Then slow footsteps. Not Alex's. He always dragged his right foot a little when he walked. These steps were steady, patient, and they were coming from the back hallway. My heart slammed against my ribs as I ducked behind a booth. The cook was gone. So was the hum of the lights. Then, faintly, I heard Alex again. "Mia, run." The voice was weak, broken, like it came through a radio speaker. I turned toward the hallway and froze. A figure was standing there. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing Alex's jacket. But the face wasn't his. He took one slow step forward. "Mia," he said again. But the voice was wrong, deeper, distorted. I backed up until I hit the counter. He tilted his head again, as if studying me. "You left me on the road," he whispered. "You hit me, and you left." I shook my head, trembling. "No, we didn't, we thought." He stepped closer, the red light bleeding across his face now. And for just a moment, I saw something move under his skin, like a face trying to form underneath. I ran. I didn't think, I just ran. Through the back door, out into the night, into the fog. Behind me, the diner door slammed shut, and then the lights turned back on inside. All at once, every booth filled with shadowy silhouettes. Watching me. I made it to the car, screaming Alex's name. No answer. I started the engine. This time it worked. I slammed the gas, tearing down that empty highway, tears blurring my vision. But as I looked in the mirror, the diner was gone. Just fog. And in the passenger seat, Alex's phone lay there, screen on. One message displayed. Narration. "You can't leave me twice." I don't remember how long I drove. Maybe hours. Maybe minutes. Time felt like it was folding in on itself. The same curves, the same trees, the same signs that never said anything. Every mile looked exactly like the last one. And then my GPS, which had been dead all this time, flickered back on. Only one word appeared on the screen. "Return." I should have thrown the phone out the window. Instead, I stared at it, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. It felt like it was watching me. Then, the radio turned on. Static at first, then a voice. Soft. Familiar. "Mia, where are you going?" It was Alex's voice. I slammed the radio off. But the humming continued, not through the speakers this time. It was coming from the back seat. I didn't dare look back. I just kept driving, whispering to myself, "It's not real. It's not real." But then something brushed my shoulder. Cold. Damp. Like someone's hand resting just long enough to say, "I'm still here." I screamed, swerving off the road. The car spun once, twice, then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, the car was still. Steam hissed from the engine. My head throbbed, but I was alive. And somehow, the road in front of me had changed. The trees were gone. Instead, I saw buildings, familiar ones. I was back at the diner. Only it looked different now. Brighter. Alive. Like nothing bad had ever happened. I stumbled out of the car, clutching my side. People inside looked normal, chatting, laughing, sipping coffee. The same booths, the same music, but this time the jukebox played an old love song. And there, at the counter, was Alex, smiling, waving me over. "Alex," I whispered. He grinned, like none of it had ever happened. "Mia, you made it. You're safe." He reached out his hand, but my skin crawled. Something about his eyes, too glassy, too calm. I took a step back. Where are we?" He tilted his head, confused. "We're home. You came back to me." Behind him, the cook was watching, unblinking. And in the reflection of the diner window behind Alex, I saw myself, sitting at the counter, smiling. My breath caught. I turned away from the window, shaking my head. While I looked back, the diner was dark again. The cars were gone. The sign said help. Only now, another word had appeared beneath it. Stay. I backed away slowly, heart hammering. Every instinct screamed to run, but where? The road just led back here again and again. I turned to get in the car, but it wasn't there. Just tire marks and footprints leading back toward the diner door. I followed the footprints, even though every step felt like sinking. The closer I got, the louder that whisper became. You said forever, Mia. You promised. When I reached the door, I saw something written on the glass in condensation. We died together. And behind that message, a shadow moved, tall, hunched, dragging something across the floor. I pressed my hand to the glass, whispering, "Please, just let me go." The light above me flickered once. Then, in the reflection, I saw it again, my own face smiling back. Only this time, the reflection blinked first. That was the moment I realized I wasn't fighting a person. I was fighting the place itself. Something here wanted me to stay, to repeat, to join the others who'd already been eras. So I ran again, not toward the road, but into the woods. I didn't care where. I just needed to get away from that smiling reflection, that voice calling my name. But even as I stumbled through branches and rain, the jukebox music followed me. No matter how far I went, it was always right behind. I didn't know it then, but I hadn't escaped. You can't leave something that already remembers you. And that diner, that road, it remembered everything.